from United Healthcare Community Plan, and I want to wish WURD a happy 20th anniversary. For those of you that do not know, WURD and United Healthcare Community Plan have a very long-standing history, and we'd love to continue the partnership and continue doing much work. Again, happy 20th anniversary. Thank you so much.
We're celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk Media. Black Talk Media. This is WURD 900 AM and 96.1 FM, Philadelphia. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the Word Radio app.
I'm simply saying that life finds a way.
All right, people, write something on the board. Let's spell it. First letter.
L O G.
What's that? What?
It's time. It's time to have real, honest, open, difficult, and inspiring conversations. It's time for Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Hello and welcome. Welcome to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Thank you as always to Aaron Smith, the rapping professor, for passing the baton. I always enjoy his show. Always, always. Happy Wednesday to you. As some say, happy hump day, but I gotta figure out, you know what, I'm gonna look that up to see what that means. I don't know what that means, hump day, from where that came. Now let me be clear. I know what a hump is. So I know what it means to have the hump in the middle of the week. But I need to look up the origin of that statement just so I know. You don't want to be out here saying just anything. So good day to you. Here we are in the middle of the work week. Thank you for joining us. As always, we are always happy to spend some time with you. You know we are. You know we are. So family, listen, how about this? I'm talking with some of you, and we had a conversation the other day where we were talking about what's taking place in our fair city, all of the gun violence in our fair city. I want you to know that I want that conversation to continue. Again, I want to reiterate that I don't have an answer. I don't have a solution, but I'm so prayerful and hopeful that if we continue that conversation, that we might come up with one. That is my hope. That's where my heart lies, and that's my belief. So I wanted to say that before we get into anything else, because we had such a hearty conversation about it the other day, and it was emotional, and we're all passionate about that topic, and we're all sensitive about it. So I want you to know that I do want that conversation to continue. So family, if you are new to the show, what I like to do as we get started, I like to do a little check-in or roll call, if you will. So call us. You can do that. You can call us and say hi. You can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call toll free at 1-866-361-0900. And if you're joining us on your socials, you can send us a hello from there as well. And to those of you who are listening, you already know, because I tell you this all the time, that we know you are out there, and your presence and your love always felt and are so greatly appreciated. Please know that. Please know that. And you already know that I'm sending extra love and hugs to those of you whose light is shining dimly today. Just know that I'm all over the place. I'm gonna tell you all that right now. Y'all know that I'm usually on 100, but today, when I tell you I can't get it right, I can't get right today. But guess what? I'm still fighting. I'm still fighting it. But in any event, just know that, again, if your light is shining dimly, you're not alone. You are so not alone. You hear me? You've got your tribe right here. That's for one. So you are not alone. And especially to those of our family members who are navigating the loss of a loved one, I want you to know that you are not alone. Just know that. And to that point, I'm extending my condolences to my family, and all of my love to the Nixons, to the Nixon family for the loss of Albert Lewis Nixon, who gained his wings today. Again, I love you beyond words, and you are not alone. And on the other end of the rainbow, now that we're in Leo season, if today is your birthday, well, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. I hope you are celebrating and I hope you are being celebrated. How about that? How about that? Before we move further, family, I want to share something with you. Founders Day is back, and you don't want to miss the celebration of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD, on Friday, August 18th at the future home of WURD, 3601 Haverford Avenue from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Please join us for a block party filled with panel discussions, health screenings, dancing, food, and fun. Check out family-friendly activities, vendors, and the presentation of our third annual Community Impact Awards. You can also stand with WURD Radio, start, or renew your 4WURD membership at the special Founders Day discounted rate of only $80. Or you can start a digital membership. That's our 2023 Founders Day celebration on Friday, August 18th at the future home of WURD, 3601 Haverford Avenue from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'll be there. We are WURD, progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. The 2023 Founders Day celebration is brought to you by Independence at Home, Super Office Solutions Incorporated, and Oak Street Health Right brand. So I want to acknowledge some of our family members who are beginning to check in. I just want to share some love for a moment. Gary Bryant. Hey there, Gary. He shares a good evening with me and the entire WURD family. Thank you so much for the love, Gary. As always, Brother Nasir is joining us too. Well, hello there, Brother Nasir. Hello, hello, hello. He shares hello to all the guests. Peace and blessings to the family as well. Chip is joining us. Hey, Chip. Chip is sending love and light. Yes, he is. He's sending love and light. Tony. Hi there, Tony. I'm so glad that you have come back because, I want to continue the conversation with you. You had some ideas that I want to know about, and I think the conversation that we started the other day is such an important one that it must continue. I hope you do too. I hope you do too. Our brother Raphael is joining us as well. Hey there, Raphael. Good evening to you too. And Misty, my cousin Misty, she says, hey, Kim Carroll. She's the only person that calls me Kim Carroll. She says, hey, Kim Carroll. And she's letting me know that my beloved Nixon family is listening. I don't know if you heard me. To my Nixon family, to April, June, Sharon, Robin, Yvette, all of you. There's so many, so many, so many. But you know that I love you more than words can express, and that I'm keeping you all in my prayers. Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Albert Lewis Nixon has gained his wings. So to my love I send to you. I want to share that Miss Joanne is joining us this evening as well. Joanne Kemp. Hi there, family. Thank you for checking in. Well, guess what? I have a very exciting, I don't know, exciting. I'm excited to share our guest with you. So that's from where that word comes. But just the subject matter, the topic alone has me anxious to share our guest with you. Our first guest is an author. She's a Rhodes Scholar and medical student. Her book, Twice as Hard, details the lives of Black women who fought to become physicians from the Civil War to the 21st century. Her book has been featured on multiple TV shows and on NPR, and has also been highlighted in various publications, including the Philadelphia Inquirer and Time magazine. I want to share with you that in this work of extensive research, she offers a rich new perspective, penning the long erased stories of 9 pioneering women, Black women, that is, Black women physicians, beginning in 1860 when a Black woman first entered medical school. Family, I'm excited to invite you to the conversation with Miss Jasmine Brown. Hi there, beautiful.
Hi, it's so wonderful to be here.
It is such a pleasure to have you here. So, family, before the show began, I was telling Jasmine that I'm excited. Now, our family members know that I'm usually on 10, so they know I'm always on 10. But I was sharing with Jasmine that it makes me feel good, number one, to share stories about us, especially when they're positive stories, and to be able to share with our family, your research, your story. It just feels good. It feels so good to know that we have a rich history being researched and shared abroad, because it's high time that we as a people are recognized, and that for who we are, for our contributions as well. But I could go on and on. I could go, but I will not. Not in this moment, Jasmine, because it's about you. Because it's about you. So I read that you began writing your book, Twice as Hard, at the age of 22.
Mm.
I don't even know what I was thinking at 22, but what was your inspiration at that time?
A lot of things that you actually mentioned really resonated with me back at that time. So, when I was 22, I had just started at Oxford. I had gone through undergrad, knew that I was pre med, and had been experiencing different levels of implicit bias in my clinical experiences, both for me and other Black classmates. And so I wanted to understand where these issues were coming from, why it was so prevalent, and initially went in trying to study the social and structural barriers that have prevented Black women from entering medicine. But as I started the research, I started learning about some of these women and how early they had been entering medicine. And it was just so inspiring to me because we aren't often told our incredible legacy of so many wonderful things that we have done. Um, I had never met a Black woman physician before I started that research, despite preparing to apply to medical school at the time. And so I felt like it was important to share these stories to show that we've been here for a long time, despite what people told me growing up that I didn't belong in that space. But my ancestors have been in this space for over 150 years, and I feel like that was really important to share.
I'm sorry, you were told that you did not belong in this space?
Yeah, that being Black, I couldn't succeed in a science field, even as like middle school, elementary school, being told that.
Oh my Lord. I, mm, I you know, it pains me. I know it to be true because I know that it happens all the time. But it pains me when I hear that because I'm constantly thinking of pouring into one another and speaking life and into one another, because I mean that's how I was raised and what I believe, and it pains me. It really does, and especially if that came from one of us.
No,
If
it
one
didn't
of us.
come from one of
Well,
us.
praise God, because it hurts even more when it does. Because that
Yes.
does happen, but it hurts
Yeah.
even more when it does. So I was reading and doing the research, and I'm thinking 1860. I had no idea that a Black woman studied to become a physician. And quite honestly, I cannot imagine
Mm.
what she experienced.
Yeah.
I can't imagine. And I'm curious to know how it affected you, because I was thinking that it feels to me that the journey and the struggles of these women have been like a driving force for you. It contribute
Mhm.
to your driving force, and I'm curious to know if that's so, because I would imagine that it would be. But if that's so, and why, what about their stories drives you?
Mm. I would agree that they're a driving force, a source of motivation, something I tap into for resilience.
Hmm.
Because many of the challenges, so Dr. Rebecca Crumpler, she was the first Black woman physician. Her challenges were definitely more extreme than mine, but there are
Hmm.
many challenges that these women experienced that I could resonate with, such as being told that they didn't belong, that if they were in a certain space, it was just because of affirmative action, which we know what happened recently.
Hmm.
Um, but to see that despite the fact that these barriers have existed for a really long time, these women kept pushing and they still succeeded and they had an incredible impact on their communities. It gave me inspiration that while there are still blocks in my path,
Hmm.
they're not insurmountable.
Oh, Jasmine, God bless you. I love hearing that. I do want to share. Some of our family members are continuing to join the conversation. Ms. Viola, she shares good evening, all. And she also shares that she loves these subjects. Um, Miss Julie shares, I too call upon the Lord as I do often. I'm going to say all time. I told you I'm like the gnat at his cookout. I'm going to be honest about that. But she shares that it pains her too. Jasmine, so glad the light is within you to not be misled from their negative comments. And she asks, what is the name of your book?
It's called Twice as Hard.
Twice as Hard is the name of your book. You know what? Where can, now I saw that. I already know, but I'm going to ask you if you can share with our family members where they can grab a copy of your book.
It's available widely, so you can get it on Amazon, you can get it at your local bookstore. Um, yeah, it's been really wonderful, especially when it first came out in January, being able to walk into bookstores and see my book there, and particularly next to some really iconic authors, whether it be in February, I was getting pictures from people in different parts of the country that had been in Barnes and Nobles and seen my book next to Michelle Obama's Becoming,
Mm.
um, which was insane to me. I remember walking into one bookstore, and right in the front of the bookstore was my book, right next to Prince Harry's book. Um,
Wow.
yeah, it's been really amazing. But yeah, you can get it pretty much anywhere in bookstores or online.
I can't imagine what that felt like. I'm sure that it still resonates. Like it just repeats. So I'm curious to know, what did your research entail? Like,
Mm. Yeah, so I did a lot of my research for this book was while I was at Oxford in the UK. I did a master's in history of medicine, and for my dissertation, my primary research method that ended up like playing a big role in the book was oral histories. And that
okay.
was actually something that was really powerful for me to be able to hear some of these women who had passed away for decades, telling their story and their journey,
Mm.
being able to hear them, in some cases, being able to see them, it was really powerful for me.
It sounds it as you share that with us. It sounds that it would be. Here we are in 2023, and I know we're still dealing with, just layers of adversity, but just hearing from them in that time period, just hearing their stories from them, quite honestly, that had to, I can't imagine how that
Mhm.
felt. and how deeply you felt it,
Yeah.
especially being a Black female medical student, present day. And oh my Lord, that just that sends chills. It really does. Family,
Mhm.
listen, it is time for us to take a break, and good for me, right? Let me get myself together. But know that the phone lines are open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. We're talking with Jasmine Brown, the author. Oh my goodness, the author of this amazing book, Twice as Hard. She's an author and a medical student, and she's here sharing her story with us. So stay with us because we'll be right back.
This is the story of a very special woman. In a matter of seconds, she turned herself into a great mathematician or an entrepreneur. Her knowledge was limitless and still is. She could also make monsters disappear, especially those that lurked in the shadows under the bed. Once, this woman put back together a teenage girl's broken heart, which had been shattered in 1,000 pieces, just by giving her a bear hug. She masqueraded as a regular person at work, but as a superhero at home. Everyone knows her as Gabriella. I still call her Mom.
Your hero needs you now, and AARP is here to help. Find the care guides you need to help, complete with tips and resources at aarp.org/caregiving. A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Tune in this Friday at 9:20 a.m. for Tech Life Steph's digital tip of the week. Listen throughout the week for her digital updates. Brought to you by Comcast.
WURD Radio is the only African-American owned and operated talk radio station in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania and one of only 3 remaining in the country. In the past 20 years, WURD has evolved into a multimedia, multi-platform communications company that reaches deeply into the Black community through radio, events, digital, and social media. It is considered the go-to channel to engage, interact, and connect with Philadelphia's Black community. Our brand is built on the personal legacy of our founder, Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD. Dr. Lomax was a brilliant physician who established medical centers in underserved neighborhoods throughout Philadelphia to provide high-quality healthcare to Black and Brown communities for over 30 years. One of his most ambitious acquisitions was when he purchased WURD Radio. He understood the power of ownership and the power of independent media. Through WURD, he wanted to ensure that Philadelphia's Black community had the ability to speak and be heard in their own voice. We are celebrating 20 years of Black excellence. We are celebrating 20 years of progressive Black talk media. This vignette was brought to you by Comcast, United Way, and Bank of America. You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We are talking with our guest this evening, Ms. Jasmine Brown. She's an author and a medical student, author to be exact of the book, Twice as Hard. And we're talking about the book. We're talking about Jasmine, her journey as well. And she's sharing so much with us. I do want to take a moment to go back to our socials to acknowledge some of our family members that are contributing to the conversation. Miss Julie is sending love and light to, thank you so much, to me and to the Nixon family. And no, it is not, not Eric. This is Albert Lewis Nixon. He was a grown man who fathered many children. But I wanted to address that, to be clear, so that you knew. Albert Lewis Nixon is his name, who gained his wings And I was expressing my condolences as my sadness for his loss. But Miss Julie also shares that she looked up your book. She looked it up already. I know that's right, Miss Julie. That's my girl, Miss Julie. And she shares that it's a beautiful cover. She shares that it resembles you. Beautiful hair, white lab coat on. Miss Joanne is joining us. Hi, Miss Joanne. Miss Joanne Dormont. Good evening to you as well. And Malcolm is joining us from West Mount Airy. Good evening to you as well. Hey there, Melissa. Melissa is hanging out with us tonight too. Dwight. Hey, Dwight. Hi. How are you, Dwight? So happy to have you joining us as well. Miss Julie, she wants everybody to know. Twice as Hard. The author is Jasmine Brown, telling the true life experiences of Black women who fought to become physicians. I so appreciate Miss Julie. I'm telling you, I sure do. All of our family members. But Jasmine, how important was it to you to highlight the relevance of Black women in the medical field?
It was extremely important. Since I'd say high school, I've had this drive wanting to increase the number of Black people going into STEM fields. Growing up, seeing my friends who were also Black that were not, like, I was one of the only Black people in my advanced science and math classes, even though I felt that my Black classmates were just as smart, but they were juggling some other things, such as working to help support their family and just seeing how that led us down a different path. And so, since being younger, having this desire to do something to help create change, and I feel like by showing these role models and showing their path to provide hope to other young people who are thinking about medicine or thinking about any other field where people tell them they can't succeed, that
Mm-hmm.
that might be the inspiration they need to keep moving forward. And it's been the inspiration I've needed through the challenges that come with being in medical school.
I cannot imagine. So of the 9 women chosen for your book, what was it about their particular stories that was so important to share?
It was difficult to choose because there are so many
Mhm.
incredible Black women who've been making impacts in medicine for decades, for over a century. One of the big things was, could I find enough information on them? Because unfortunately, especially earlier on, people didn't feel like our stories were important enough to keep that history.
Mhm.
Even Dr. Rebecca Crumpler, the first Black woman physician, there's no photo of her anywhere. If you Google it, you might see a picture of someone, but then I was surprised to find out a few months into my research after seeing that photo that that's actually a photo of the first Black nurse. But there's photos of the first white woman physician who
Mhm.
became a physician before her. There's photos of other physicians who became physicians before her, but they just didn't think that she was important enough to archive her history. And that's something that I've seen repeatedly, that it was difficult to find enough information about an individual physician to write a whole chapter about. So that was the first limiting factor. And then other things were just, I wanted to get a expanse of women over different time periods. So
Sure.
Dr. Rebecca Crumpler, who in the mid 1800s during the Civil War, Dr. Edith Irby Jones in the mid 1900s, as we're looking at Brown versus Board of Ed, and all in between.
Mhm.
So that was another factor. Like, can I get different highlight women from different time periods to show how their journeys may have changed based off of the socio-political climate, what's going on in the US during that time?
So I want to go back to something you said. You were talking about your counterparts, and pretty much you being the only one in one of your classes. But what you felt as if your Black counterparts were just as intelligent and just as and should have been as well. But they were dealing with other things, which is
Mhm.
understandable, which is so understandable. But um, as a Black female medical student, do you feel that, well, I'll ask you this, how important is it for Black men and women to realize that they may have to work twice as hard as their counterparts just to be in certain fields, in certain classes, or to be in certain spaces?
Mm. I think that a lot of us understand that, and I actually got the title inspiration from, I feel like, a common thing that's discussed within the Black community of you have to work twice as hard to get half as far or half as much. Um, but I will say, one, showing that despite how hard it can be for us in different ways for Black women, Black men, um, that they can still succeed. And then also for people within medicine, administrators, people who say they want to create change, who may identify as an ally, to recognize that just because it's 2023, there are still a lot of issues and there's a lot of work to be done. And so they shouldn't just sit back and relax and say, well, we have a few more Black people than we did before, so we're good.
Yeah, that's so, that's, thank you for sharing that, because that it is definitely important. I was thinking, as I was listening to you talk about some of the challenges that you currently experience. One of my questions earlier, well, when I was thinking of talking with you, was going to be, you know, do you feel well about the difficulties that these women in the book faced? Do you feel that through time, of course, there are different challenges. I know we're in a different day and age, but I was curious to know if you felt that you were facing some of the same challenges as they, or if the challenges that you're facing are completely different because we're in a different day and age. But it sounds to me that at the crux of it, some of those challenges, a lot of those challenges are the same.
Yeah, I would definitely agree. And I was surprised at how much my experience I felt mirrored some of their experiences. So, one example is Dr. Marilyn Gadsden. She is an incredible physician who actually did a lot of research on sickle cell, and her research was pivotal to the realization that we need to give our babies with sickle cell disease penicillin to help fight against infections that they're more prone to, which significantly expanded their lifespan. But when she was in high school, she told her college counselor that she wanted to do medicine, and her counselor said, "You can't. You're Black. You're a woman. You're poor. You can't become a physician." And even for me, as recent as I think like 2 years ago, I had an advisor who I told her like, "Oh, I want to pursue this surgical specialty," and then she was like, "I don't know if you could do that." And at first, for a while, her words weighed heavy on my shoulders. It was hard not to believe her because I'm like, well, she has expertise. Maybe she knows more than me. But then I had to look back in the chapters that I had wrote and then remind myself that we have been told these lies for such a long time. And even though it can be difficult, especially when you have someone more senior trying to limit what they think you're capable of achieving, that we are capable of so much more, and that for me, I have to keep pushing. I can't let one person discourage me from a path that I feel called to. And that's something that for Dr. Gasson, she was experiencing that in the 1950s. So, yeah, seeing their journeys and reminding myself, like sometimes just going back through, like, what were some of the things they were going through, it helped to make me feel like this was something less about me and more an issue of the person and their prejudice.
Oh. You know, again, I can't stop saying how much it pains me. But I know, again, like I said, at family, I'm aware that these things happen every day, all day. Our babies are constantly told, oh, you can't. Oh, you can't. Oh, you're kidding me. You can't. And I know this with every fiber of my being, but it doesn't make it palatable. Um, it doesn't make it feel any better to me to know. But I really wish you the best. I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful to have you here talking with us. And you're an inspiration. You yourself are an inspiration. Family, if you have just joined us, you are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online. We are talking with Jasmine Brown. She is an author and a medical student, the author of the book Twice as Hard. And she is sharing with us about the book, sharing with us about her journey. For those of you who did miss when I shared this, she's also a Rhodes Scholar. I don't know that you caught that as well. So we're going to talk with her about that as well. In addition to hearing more about the book and the stories of the Black women in medicine about whom she wrote, who fought to become physicians from the Civil War to the 21st century. I don't know about you, but I feel so empowered just saying that, just hearing it come from my mouth. It sounds so good, so empowering to hear that. I mean, listen, I say it all the time. We are a beautiful, resilient, strong, intelligent people. And it feels so good to know that in 1860, there was a Black woman who was attending medical school who fought, who paved the way so that many more of our babies could be physicians as well. Family, if you would like to comment, feel free to do so. You can do that on our socials, and you can also do that by calling, and you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. Before we go to the break, I do want to share that a few of our family members are commenting on our socials, joining the conversation. Misty is sharing that on behalf of the Nixon tribe, we thank you for sharing the information and extending condolences on behalf of the passing of our dad. Weeping may endure for a night, but joy cometh in the morning. Amen. Amen. What a life and legacy of love he left. His lineage included 8 children, 28 grandchildren, 61 great grandchildren, and 10 plus great great grandchildren, and counting. Lovingly submitted, the Nixon family. Frey is joining us. Frey shares, may God continue to give you and your family his strength, comfort, and peace today and the days that lie ahead. Prayer works. Yes, it does. Tamika Patton, hey there, beautiful. Hey, sis. Thank you for joining. Eric is joining us. Eric Young. Hi there, Eric. He shares, good evening, Word family. Have a blessed, safe, prosperous, healthy evening. And Dwight is just saying, wow, with everything that you are sharing, everything that you are giving to us tonight. And Tamika says, this is a great and needed discussion. Miss Julie, she says, it sounds like we need a Black Pages that students of science, I love that, and those in the medical field can refer to for counseling and guidance of careers. I love that, Miss Julie. You know what? Didn't I tell you I love her? I told you I love Miss Julie. And Cheryl is joining us. She shares that she's listening from her car. Congrats to you, Jasmine, and best wishes. She cannot wait to read your book. It is so important for us to understand the past and the obstacles that we've overcome. Today, we need resilience as much as we ever have. Adversity confronts us daily. It can even feel overwhelming for believers standing on faith and hope. Amen. Onward and upward. I know that's right. Amen. Amen. And Eric is joining us. Just Rick. He shares, good evening. The struggle is never easy, but the journey does have its rewards. Thank you so much for your service and your contribution. I second all of that. And I'm so happy for all the love that you are receiving. Family, it's time for us to take just a short break, but do know that the phone lines are open. As a matter of fact, when we come back from break, we're going to go to the phone lines, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Pollution from trucks is a public health crisis. Diesel-burning trucks belch dangerous levels of pollution, and communities living near ports and along freight corridors breathe especially high levels of this dirty air. But this crisis has a solution. My name is Sasan Sadat, and I work for Earth Justice. I'm working to clean up our air quality, particularly for communities that bear the burden of diesel pollution. For the sake of our lungs, our health, and our climate, the future of trucking in this country has got to be zero emissions. Until then, I will never rest.
Earth Justice is a national legal nonprofit defending the environment and people's health. Earth Justice is fighting to save lives, protect our climate, and strengthen our economy through the shift to zero emissions. If clean air matters to you, visit us at earthjustice.org. Earth Justice, because the earth needs a good lawyer.
What's up, Philly? It's Solomon Jones. Don't look now, but back to school is just around the corner. How will that work for you? Did your child's education plan work for you last year? Were safety issues, bullying, and persistent health concerns working together to make your child or grandchild's life miserable? Maybe it's time to consider Commonwealth Charter Academy. They know how school should work. Commonwealth Charter Academy, or CCA, has a 21-year track record of providing a flexible, stable, online education in the comfort of your home. Enroll today at ccaeducate.me. Here are some benefits that could work for your family. 1, a world-class, flexible, customizable education streamed directly to your home at no cost to you. 2, laptops, headphones, high-speed internet access, and learning materials, all provided at no cost to you. Join the more than 4,200 students from Philly who already attend CCA. Enroll for the fall at ccaeducate.me. Trust me, they know how school should work.
Be sure to tune in this Sunday at 2 p.m. for the Physicians on Air show with host Dr. Alexander.
The job search can be a difficult and frustrating process. WURD's Livelihood Initiative was designed to help you find the right opportunity for your next professional move. Check out these recent openings posted on the Livelihood job board at wordworks.com. Brown ShopRite and Fresh Grocer are hiring cashiers at multiple locations, and Herb Foods are hiring truck drivers, various warehouse shift laborers, and a sales representative. For more information on these jobs and many others, go to wordworks.com and learn more about the Livelihood Initiative, brought to you by WURD Radio, progressive, Black talk media.
Text and work. Text and pretend to work. Text and act surprised when someone calls you out for not working. Who, me? Text and whatever, just don't text and drive. Visit stoptextsstopwrecks.org. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, progressive Black talk media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media. We're talking with Jasmine Brown, who is a medical student and the author of the book, Twice as Hard. This book, listen, I wish I could buy it for everybody. That's how I feel right now. But because I feel that the subject matter is so important to, even to myself as a good and grown woman, I feel that it's so important, and because we need to know our history. Again, I had no idea there was a Black woman in medical school in 1860. I had no idea. And I wouldn't know if were it not, for you. So again, I do want to continuously thank you. And at the age of 22, I feel like I was slipping. What was I doing at 22? What was you said at 22? This is what I'm about to do. I'm about to write this book because we all need to know. We need to be educated, and for that, I am eternally grateful. Family, I do want to share with you Don't miss out on this incredible offer. Become a member on Founders Day to grab the discounted membership rate of only $80. Also, with your membership, you can enter to win a pair of Lion King tickets and snag your swag while supplies last. But that's not all. All members will have the exclusive chance to secure their 20th anniversary ticket at a specially discounted price starting September 1st. Remember, membership comes with its perks. So join us on Founders Day, Friday, August 18th. And as always, thank you for supporting Black Talk Media. Family, I'm going to take a moment to go to our phone lines. I believe one of our family members has been waiting to talk with us. Hello, are you still there?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, Cal. Hi, Mr. Jasmine. How you doing?
Hi
And
there,
I'm going to
Ron.
make my comments. I know you're young. We had a Rhodes Scholar that come from Philadelphia. His name was John Wadman, and I think he graduated from it was either LaSalle or Villanova. I'll never get that up. African American man. But that word you're using is so significant. And what I'm talking about, I'm 80 years of age, and I always refer to that as a blessing. And it's so nice that you say you take the little extra to understand that. That's so significant. People like myself, and a lot of people like myself, do not have anyone to be an inspiration to them. And when you take that little extra caring, it's just like when Talcum, she always talk about how you don't want to hear from you, not me, but the people there. And she said, I want to send out love. I want to hope that if your day is sort of dark and dreary, hope that it can be enlightened. That is so important because just being kind to someone, man. And you professional people, when you write your story, man, after your career is over, and Cal, y'all write your story, all forgivers, these words will be written, I hope, for you. And these words are, Lord, I tried. That's it. We're living in some very, very difficult times. And our seniors, I don't speak for all of them, but I'm one of them today. Just to have someone to think about our seniors with the words that word of Cal used and y'all using, that's a wonderful thing. Because this radio station, I speak for myself and maybe others, this is a comforter because your sleeping pattern change and all like that. So what Ryan is really saying, continue to include others in your career and giving words out like that because you never know whose life you are touching. This at the other yesterday, one of the senior places where I lived at, one lady checked in the hospital around my age, or maybe a little older, and she checked in for one thing, and they found out that these coronavirus, she got that, so she had to spend some more time. So what I'm saying with this, man, when you speak for others, that's a purpose in life, especially to be an inspiration, man. You never know who lives you're touching in this life, and continue to do that. And may the Lord just increase. He can do so many things. May He increase both of y'all and the other people too. With health and strength. That's the gift of life. And when you do that, you can continue to do what you're doing. Even when you grow old and you reflect back on your life, I was an inspiration to somebody. You may not know their name, and that's very important. And it will be written for you, just like you're writing, man. And Cal sing to the people, and all the good people send well wishes out. You don't know how significant that is. Who wouldn't care for someone that does that, man? May the Lord be pleased with you. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Ron, thank you as always. I must say, Ron always calls with love and positivity, and it is so welcomed. It is so welcomed, and it's so necessary. Because we all need love. We all need love, and we all need some positivity as well. Jasmine, I was sharing with our family members. I'm looking at the time, and I know you have to leave us shortly. But before you do, I want to talk about you being a Rhodes Scholar. I mean, just saying that First of all, you see me smiling. I told you when I said hello to you, I said, you have no idea what it feels like to be able to talk with you because I'm just, enamored. I'm like, wow, your work, what you've accomplished, your book, the stories that you're sharing, the history of ours that you did the research to share with us. I just cannot tell you how much I appreciate you for that and have you know and understand. But what does it mean to you to be a Rhodes Scholar?
It's been an incredible blessing. I was in college at the point of getting ready to apply, I didn't know what the Rhodes Scholarship was. I had a Black mentor who told me to look into it. And at first, I was resistant. I told her, like, I don't know, 2 years out, I'm supposed to be going to medical school. But she kept telling me, like, Jasmine, you should think about it. You should really look into this. And once I did, it was really incredible. I had the opportunity to study abroad when I was an undergrad. I actually spent 4 months in Shanghai, China. And by living abroad, I felt like my perspective on life was expanded in so many ways. And so when I looked at the program, the Rhodes Scholarship, and finding out that it funds study at Oxford, at the University of Oxford in England, and that it's in this community of scholars from all over the world, and reading about what some of these scholars had done, it felt like I didn't know if I saw myself as highly as I felt like that scholarship was put on a pedestal, but I knew that if I was in that space, then I could grow and I would be inspired. And so I'm really grateful for that mentor who pushed me to keep looking even as I resisted. And it was a wonderful blessing being in that program, being in a community with people from all over the world, learning from them, growing from them and with them, being inspired by them. There was another scholar who he was a Black Rhodes Scholar a year ahead of me, and he had actually wrote a book about his life growing up in Compton and just the tribulations that he experienced growing up and like where he was going forward. I'm pretty sure it was like called A Dream Too Big, something like that.
Something like that. I want you to know that you're an inspiration. I don't know if anybody tells you that enough, but just know that you are an inspiration. One of our family members is asking if there's an email. Hey there, Cheryl. Cheryl Mobley Stimson is asking, is there an email that you share in case we have questions later?
Yeah, so I have more information I have a website. It's called JASMINEBROWNAuthor.com. And that can also link to my email if you want to email me. And it shows like some interviews that I've done, some work that I've done, and a bit more about the book. So
absolutely. I'm so glad. I'm so glad you're sharing that. So glad that Cheryl, one of our family members asked, Dwight shares preach inspiration, just inspiration. And Cheryl shares that her one regret from college is not pursuing a study abroad opportunity. They weren't so popular back then, she shares that she is so proud of you, Jasmine, so proud. We're proud of you, proud for you, proud to meet you, proud to speak with you, and proud to have you share your time, your energy, your attention, your knowledge, and your spirit with us. We do hope that you'll come back to visit us because I'm telling you, I feel like this isn't even the tip of the iceberg for you. And we're just grateful that you came to stop by with us. Family, I want to remind you that Jasmine is a medical student and she's also the author of the book Twice as Hard that she began writing at the age of 22. In this book, in this body of work is an extensive amount of research that she did where she offers a rich new perspective penning the long erased stories of 9 pioneering Black women physicians beginning in 1860 when a Black woman first entered medical school. Family, heavens to Murgatroyd. That feels so good to say. It just feels so good. As I decompress. Jasmine, thank you for joining us. Thank you again, once again. And we hope that you'll come back We hope that you'll visit with us again one day soon. But what we're going to do right now, family, it's time for us to take just a short commercial break. You know what we do. You know what we do and how we do it around here. So the phone lines are still open, and feel free to continue to comment on our socials. We're going to take just a short break, but we will be right back. So stay with us, okay?
Pennsylvanians are creating their own soundtrack. Thanks to PA Lottery Scratch-Offs, excitement's back. Pennies, nickels, dimes, or quarters, no matter your choice, scratching's always in order. With big top prizes and second chance drawings, thrills await. They're out there calling. If it's excitement you seek and you're looking for action, play the PA Lottery. And keep on scratching. Must be 18 or older. Please play responsibly. Benefits older Pennsylvanians every day.
Philadelphia, does it seem harder these days to get by? Well, there's one way to make keeping up a little easier, and it's right at your fingertips. The Philadelphia Water Department cares about your access to one of life's daily essentials. So get help with your water bill. Visit phila.gov/waterbillhelp today and apply for one of the assistance programs with options for low income and senior customers and those with special hardships. Even if you haven't qualified before, you may be able to get help now. So head to phila.gov/waterbillhelp to learn more.
Join WURD Radio for our annual Founders Day celebration. Mark your calendars for August 18th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at WURD's Future Home, 3601 Appleford Avenue. Embrace the spirit of Founders Day with a tribute to the legacy of Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD, complete with food, live music, local vendors, health screenings, and much more. And here's a special invitation. If you're not yet a member, this is the perfect opportunity to join the 4WURD movement and support Black Talk Media exclusively on Founders Day. Secure your membership at the exceptional rate of $80. Visit wordradio.com or join us at our Founders Day event to be a part of the 4WURD community. Let's celebrate together.
Some people won't give you the real talk on drugs, but it's time we know the facts. Fentanyl is killing people. It's a powerful opioid, often made illegally and commonly mixed with illicit drugs. It can even be pressed into counterfeit pills that resemble prescription medications. Just 2 milligrams, about the size of a few grains of sand, can potentially be lethal. This isn't an ad to scare you, but it is an ad to make you think twice. Get the facts. Go to realdealonfentanyl.com. This message is brought to you by the Ad Council.
You're listening to WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD, progressive Black Talk Media, bringing joy and power to the people for 20 years. We're bringing joy and power to the people. This is WURD Radio, 900 AM and 96.1 FM, WURD, Philadelphia. Celebrating 20 years of progressive Black Talk Media. Streaming online at wordradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Let me tell you something, and don't you ever forget it. Success is nothing without someone you love to share it with.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome to the top of the second hour of Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. Listen, family, this year on Founders Day, WURD Radio will acknowledge 5 members of the community as part of our celebration of the life and legacy of Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD. The 2023 WURD Community Impact Award recipients are Reverend Dr. Andy Jenkins, Mika Johnson, CEO of All Black Everything Pop-Up, Dr. Delana Wardlaw, and Dr. Ilana McDonald of the Twin Sisters Docs. Jasmine A. Smith, founder and CEO of Icons Sports League, and our very own Troy Wilmore, technical production manager, radio show producer, and remote broadcast engineer. So join us on Founders Day, Friday, August 18th, at the future home of WURD, located at 3601 Haverford Avenue from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m., where we will honor the awardees. Mark your calendars and tune in to WURD on Monday, September 4th from 7 a.m. until 10 p.m. and hear the Community Impact Award recipients share their life's journey and groove to the playlist that represents the soundtrack to their lives. WURD Radio is proud to sponsor and support. WURD Radio is proud to support, not sponsor, and acknowledge those who work tirelessly to uplift our community. Congratulations to all of the 2023 WURD Community Impact Award recipients. So, family, here we are at the top of the second hour of Love and Life. I don't know about you, but it felt good to talk with a young Black female professional, a medical professional at that, and who was not only sharing her story, but did the research and the sharing the stories of those that have come before us, that have come before her in her field, but that have come before us. I don't know about you, but I did not know that there was a Black woman who graduated, I should say, not even studied, Dr. Rebecca Lee Crumpler, who graduated from medical school in 1860. I had no idea. But I'm so happy for that knowledge. So, all right, here we are. It's time to talk about some things. What's in the news? Let's talk about it. What is in the news? So I don't know if you're familiar with some of these stories, but in the event that you're not, let's look into them and talk about them. They're sharing that the weekly COVID hospitalizations have increased by 14%, but the experts are advising us not to panic. Are you wearing your masks? I'm curious to know how many of you are wearing your masks, or did you ever stop? Did you ever stop wearing them? The article reads, COVID-19 hospitalizations are continuing to increase in the United States, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. For the week ending August 5th, COVID hospitalizations increased 14.3%, from 9,026 to 10,320 weekly hospitalizations. So I'm curious to know, because, I know we're living in these COVID compromised times, but are you still wearing it? Taking it off? Did you ever remove it? And what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on our mask wearing, especially when we're in spaces? It's always weird to me. I carry my masks. I have tons of them. I wear it around my neck. You'll see me out there. And I wear it, and I'm on the plane wearing it. But then I take it off to eat something. And it's, the thought is always in my mind. I always think, okay, so am I offering that one opportunity, that one chance? But then I don't know, how effective are the masks? I don't know. What do you think about it? What do you think about that? I do want to say hello to Joey Parham, who is checking in. Hey there, Joey's joining us on our socials. I love the love. I love the love when you guys check in. So another story that I did read was about Sean Toohey and Michael Oher. I don't know if you remember the movie The Blind Side, but Michael Oher is the subject of the movie The Blind Side. And I don't know if you've been following this story, but this article came out. It reads, shortly after the news broke, Sean Toohey told the Daily Memphian that his family was stunned and devastated. He shared, in quotes, "It's upsetting to think that we would make money off of any of our children. But we're going to love Michael at 37, just like we loved him at 16. He said this according to the story published on Monday. What do you think about that story? What do you think about that? I'm curious to know. Family, let me know what you're thinking and how you're feeling, and you can do so by commenting on our socials, or you can always call me, and you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. You can always call me toll free, and you can do that by dialing 1-866-361-0900. Listen, I've got a few more stories though too, because there's so many things that I read that kind of some disturbed me, most, but in any event, The next story I want to share with you is that a mother pleads guilty to felony child neglect after her 6-year-old son used her gun to shoot his teacher. The mother of a 6-year-old who shot his teacher in Virginia pleaded guilty on Tuesday to a charge of felony child neglect, 7 months after her son used her handgun to critically wound his teacher in a classroom full of students. I'm not sure if you were familiar with that story, but what do you think? How do you feel? I'm going to go to the phone lines for a moment. And who is joining us? Who's there ready to join the conversation? How are you?
Hello?
Yes. Hello. How are you?
I'm doing good. How old are you?
How old am I? I am 53, knocking on 54's door.
What? You what?
I am 53. I'm on the 5th level, 53. I'm 5'3", knocking on 54's door.
I don't believe that. You sound like a teenager, baby.
Do I? Well, God bless you, saint. God bless you for that.
You smell, you sound smooth and slick.
I sound
Damn, you could took all the energy out of me now. I was coming on the bus on you. Now I feel like I want to rap to you. I'm an old man.
You know what? Well, what you have done is made me laugh. You have definitely made me laugh.
Hey, look, everything is like, I'm listening to you. I'm listening to a lot of new commentators on the station, and I'm a bust on you because something missing, man. They're like, I don't know. All the people out there, I'm 73. All the people out there know what I'm talking about. Y'all, you got to feel for the issues, but like, too much flow. Too much flow.
You said fluff or flow?
Fluff.
Fluff. What do you mean? So what do you mean when I'm sharing the story?
You're being charming, but like, we got some serious issues going on out here in Philadelphia. And like, we got some tough decisions got to be made. And we got just like the white community got a tough decision where they gonna move on the extreme right in their community. We got a tough decision in our community whether we gonna move on the criminal element in our community. And like both communities are making excuses for all that. So like white people are struggling right now. Do they want to move on Donald Trump and people like think about them? Like just like black folks are struggling around. They do really want to move on the criminal element because we know they don't know the daddies, the single parent household. But like we got some tough decisions to make both communities.
I agree with you. I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think what you're what may be challenging, I don't want to say that you're confused, but I think what you're mistaking for fluff is my personality. This is me. Well, no, let me share with you because this is well, thank you. Thank you for letting me talk on my show. Thank you. But what I'm sharing is that I'm delivering. The facts are the same. The facts are the same. I think it's the delivery that is challenging you. Yeah, because I'm talking to you just the way that I do about anything and everything. This is just my personality, but the facts are the same. They're exactly the same, and we're talking about a lot of things. There are a lot of things going on. You are right. I tell you all day, every day, anybody within earshot that we're in the midst of spiritual warfare. Now, I don't say that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I say it all the time. When anyone who listens will tell you they've heard me say that. And when I'm sharing these stories, I share them with you because this is what's going on, and I want to talk about it. I want to talk about it because I want to know that those of us who are like-minded, who recognize that these things are happening. Yes, yes. Yes, and I think it's important to have these conversations and to keep the conversations going until we extinguish it. I think it's necessary.
I think it's necessary. We have 12 tribes of Israel, they didn't always agree.
Mm-hmm.
Petitional Black Panther, 7 tribes, everybody didn't agree. They're like,
True.
some people are not going to change. Like we got to get the group, solid majority that think like me and you, and make a tough decision. Just like America right now is at a crossroads.
Yeah.
Somehow,
oh my gosh.
some way, we cannot allow Trump to become president. History tells you what it's going to be like.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And white America is at a crossroads. They're making excuses for him. Even the white Democrats, you listen to them, they're making excuses for him. But they don't want to move on their own. Just like we don't want to move on our own. That it's continually destroying our community. 3 generations in, I got grandfathers on the porch talking about what they're going to do to another black person. I got the parents sitting out there joking about it. Now I got the kids and I got the grandkids sitting there talking about it. Some people are into that, and that's one of the tough decisions we as a black folks got to make. Realize that we're going to make a decision, like give a cutoff date. Either you're going to change or you're not, or we're going to roll on you. Because if we don't, it's going to be like South America, Haiti, the community that has the guns called the shots.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what you see around the world. And I listen to, I listen to all the stations. Everybody needs to start arming up because it's going to be that way. All you need is a crisis in Philadelphia. 6 months without electricity or water, and that 1/3 on your block that's into all that gang war stuff and all that negative, they're going to be rolling on me and you to take our stuff. Let's keep it 100.
Listen, I'm not disputing it. I'm not disputing. That's why I said it's necessary for us to talk about this stuff because we see it. We see where it's heading. And I just said the other day, I don't feel like it. I just said the other day, I don't feel like this is heading in a positive place. It's in a good place. We started the conversation about gun violence in the city. We were talking about that the other day. And I was asking, like, okay, so where do we go? What do we do? Where do we begin? How do we begin to rectify this? Because I just don't see it going.
In science, an object or a person will stay in motion unless a force is applied on it. And that means an external force, that means with human behavior, that means laws and punishment, or a force inside a standard religion to change that behavior. Now you're watching Trump. He has no internal force to make him change. Only thing going to change him is something external. And I'm watching white America fluff around. It's going to be the same thing that happened in Germany going to happen here. We, CIA, SIA, everybody cannot allow this. White America got a big choice to make. You can't let this man get in office.
No, we cannot.
I told my white buddies, they talk about all their guns. Let me tell you something. I told them, I said, every guerrilla warfare that America fought, they lost. You think black folks going to be lining up, shooting you up? No, we going to start blowing up shit. Excuse me for my language.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. So you're saying we're going to start blowing things up?
95, try to cut down the whole economy. Hey, you got all these unprotected. I told my white guy on the job, I said, "Did you know what you really talking about?" He was a Trump supporter. I said, "It ain't gonna be like 1776. Everybody line it up. When 1% of people say enough is enough, that means 3 million people. They start blowing up stuff. All these protected waterways, all these protected pipes, all these protected, unprotected gas stations." I said, do you really know what you asking for? White supremacy in the 23?
I'm curious. Wait. I want to interject for just one moment. So you say you work with a gentleman who is a supporter.
Right.
So I'm curious to know how those conversations go. What is he saying to you that is the selling point for him?
Well, I told him, I said, look, his name was Alan. I said, Alan, we're going to talk about, if you want to talk politics, I said, we can talk about it in the morning, me and you, because I learned in the industry of engineering for 50 years. I said, you come in, we're going to talk, but I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to tell you exactly how I feel. So one day, I told him, I said, he come in and talking all this stuff. I told him, research about the black slave Bible, where the government, the church, and the business community created a special Bible for black people. He come back later, he didn't say a darn thing. I said, research about how Africa twice ruled Europe. Oh, Africa never ruled Europe. But he realized, he went back, and the Moors ruled Europe for 300 years. So, like,
but what is he saying is his selling point to you? Like, what is it that?
Hey, look, when you're dealing with racists, this is why I told him. He got upset. I said, Alan, I know you're lying to me. He said, oh, you calling me a liar? I said, yeah, I'm calling you a liar. I said, Trump is a racist, and you picking up racist point of view, and you sitting there right now talking to me, and you're a liar. He got upset. I said, I told you I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I said, like, racists going to lie, cheat, steal, and kill, and going to hide behind laws, title, and religion. Like, look over to Israel. The right wing party of Israel, they doing the same thing to the Palestinians that the Germans did to them. They want the whole land. When you talk about right wing parties, they all about themselves and all about their people.
But you know what? I think you said it. I think you said it right there. The key is it's all in our history. You know what the truth is? The truth is, if you dig deep enough, you'll find it in our history. That facts are facts. Like you pointed it out. You pointed several things out to your counterpart at work. And what did you say? You shut him down. He didn't have anything to say. But I think that's a lot of those who have these opinions and this anger and these anger issues. They're fueled by, number one, lies. Number two, they're fueled by a lack of knowledge of true history. And it gets upsetting to those, I believe, because just like you, me, and those of us who are like-minded, we have some facts to share with them to counter what they're sharing with us. There's just so much, again, that we're dealing with right now in 2023, as you know, family, because we talk about it all the time. And I know some of you will say, yeah, well, talk. Well, guess what? It has to start somewhere. And I'm hopeful and I'm prayerful that if we begin having these conversations, that we will at some point reach a solution. That's my hope and that's my prayer. Family, for those of you who have just joined us, you're tuned in to Love and Life with Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. We're talking about life right now. I was sharing some of the headlines that I've read. You know what I do. You know what we do here. What's in the news? Let's talk about it. I do want to share some of the responses. Miss Julie, she responded to my question about wearing a mask. I was curious to know. I am curious to know. Are you all wearing masks? Are you still wearing masks? Did you begin ever wearing a mask? How do you feel about that? Because we're being told that COVID hospitalizations have increased by 14%. So I'd like to know, how do you feel about mask wearing? Miss Julie said, no, not me. Okay, I get it. I just want to know, take a poll, see what we're thinking and how we're feeling. Mark Banya, hey there, Mark. Mark is joining us, and he shares that Fox News will explain what they believe, but he watches it to hear the other side. Yeah, I think it's good to be well-versed. I think it's good. I think that is a good thing to watch, because it's always good for the right hand to know what the left hand is doing. That's what I believe. I do believe that. Terry Jean Neifert is saying hi. Hi there, Terry. Thank you for joining us. And she shares that she heard that COVID is on the rise again. Yes, that's what I was sharing. One of the headlines that I shared is that the weekly COVID hospitalizations have increased by 14%, but experts are advising us not to panic. So I'm curious to know what you think about that, how you feel about that, if you are wearing your mask, if you ever stopped wearing a mask, and how you feel about it overall. Just curious to know that. Family, I did share the story too as well about Sean Toohey and Michael Oher. Michael Oher is the subject of the movie The Blind Side. I don't know if you've been following that story, but it was shared that Michael Oher's adoptive parents did not actually adopt him, but in reality filed for a conservatorship. That was what they acquired. So the family is saying that they're shocked. Sean Toohey shared that he's shocked and stunned and devastated. And he shares that it's upsetting to think that he and his wife would make money off of any of their children. So he says that they're going to love Michael at 37, just like they love him at 16. So I was curious to know what you thought and how you felt about that. And the other story that I shared was the mother that pleaded guilty to felony child neglect after her 6-year-old son used her handgun to shoot his teacher. Family, it's time for us to take a break though, but know that the phone lines are open, and please continue to comment on our socials. When we come back, we're going to go to the phone lines. I want to talk to you some more. You know I do. You know I do. So family, stay with us because we'll be right back.
Ashiro's work is never done. You care for the house, the kids, and our future. We're so grateful for all you do. Now, it's time to care for yourself and save a little more for retirement. A free 3-minute online chat can give you the personalized tips you need to boost your retirement savings now. Visit aceyourretirement.org today.
A public service announcement brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I always had to be so good, no one could ignore me. Carve my path with data and drive. But some people only see who I am on paper. The paper ceiling, the limitations from degree screens to stereotypes that are holding back over 70 million stars. Workers skilled through alternative routes rather than a bachelor's degree. It's time for skills to speak for themselves. Find resources for breaking through barriers at tearthepaperceiling.org. Brought to you by Opportunity at Work and the Ad Council.
Tune in every Saturday at 4 p.m. for the Did You Know Show with host Bryant Green, right here on WURD 96.1 FM and 900 AM.
Need a minute? Take a breath and breathe in positivity. Here are words of joy and empowerment from WURD Radio.
This is Valerie Harrison, Vice President for Public Affairs at Temple University. The power, purpose, and possibility of Black women are clear. While we can be very different, we share the authenticity of Maya Angelou, the community-mindedness of Ella Baker, the courage of Harriet Tubman, and the elegance and grace of Coretta Scott King. We bring our whole selves to every experience. Remember who you are. You are a light in darkness. You are the best of what it means to be human. I'm Valerie Harrison.
This joy and empowerment vignette was brought to you by Comcast.
The job search can be a difficult and frustrating process. WURD's Livelihood Initiative was designed to help you find the right opportunity for your next professional move. Check out these recent openings posted on the Livelihood job board at wordworks.com. Brown ShopRite and Fresh Grocer are hiring cashiers at multiple locations, and Herb Foods are hiring truck drivers, various warehouse shift laborers, and a sales representative. For more information on these jobs and many others, go to wordworks.com and learn more about the Livelihood Initiative, brought to you by WURD Radio, progressive, Black talk media.
Why is WURD important to the community?
Thank you for asking.
Let me count the ways.
And it's one of the most important radio stations in the country.
WURD has always been a platform for Black people in Philadelphia. We're one of the only Black-owned talk radio stations in the country. We're one of 4 in the nation.
You know, a lot of what's going on in the world today, I think, is a result of people feeling like they don't have a voice.
Without WURD, we wouldn't have such educated, loving, caring people of color who really are interested in what's going on in neighborhoods around the city.
WURD creates such a sense of community in the Black community here in Philadelphia.
It amplifies the voices that are mostly marginalized. It allows you to speak and be heard and to create your own narrative, your own story. It's a place where we can share our thoughts, our ideas, our dreams. You control who and what you say about yourself.
Every community needs a hub.
We are 20 years strong, giving voice to the community, and without the community, there will be no WURD. We are one and the same, and it is not a game. WURD.
You're listening to Love and Life with Carol Riddick on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online at wordradio.com. I want to say thank you to Don, who called us just before the break and was sharing some good points, was talking with us about life and about what we're dealing with, about racism, talking about, what is happening right now politically. And there is a lot. There is a lot going on. There is a lot with which we are dealing. One thing I remind myself of is that just as you shared, Don, about the African slave Bible, and there have been things that have been put in play. There have been subjects about which we've spoken that have tried to shift our mindset. But guess what? We are still here. We are still strong. We are still bold. We are still intelligent. We are still thriving. I'm happy to know that we have not given in to most of the things that have been put in place to tear us down. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that we're not a broken people. That's not what I'm saying. I don't want to be misunderstood. We are severely broken. I agree that we are severely broken, but I'm saying that we're still here, which says to me that we have another second, another minute, another moment, and another hour to do better and to get it right. That's what I'm saying, and that's what I'm sharing. And I believe that with every fiber of my being, and I pray on it and I pray for it, which is, again, why I say the conversations that we have are so important. Communication is key. It's necessary for us to talk. Family, it's necessary for us to talk. You hear me? Because we've got to get past and over and through. And I know, I read Revelations. I read Revelations. So I know what's in the book. I know what's in the good book. And I know what's going on today and how it applies and everything that is going on. When I tell you, I don't know that anybody prays harder than I do. I told y'all I'm the gnat at God's cookout, okay? I know I am. I know he says this child again. I know he does. But I digress. I don't want to get too carried away with what I'm thinking and what I'm feeling, because I'm curious to know what you're thinking and what you are feeling. To that point, I'm going to take a moment to go back to our phone lines, because I believe another one of our family members is waiting to join the conversation. Hello, are you still there?
I'm still here. Are you talking to me?
I sure am. Hello. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for allowing me to come on the show, Miss Riddick. Okay, so I just momentarily joined, and I was hearing about a slave Bible, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I came across that information, watching videos on YouTube. But I also, like, when I was watching that video, it was informing me that this Bible is in a museum. And it's on display for everyone to see. But if I'm not mistaken, that Bible is different from the Bibles that I have, or a lot of other people that own Bibles.
Oh, it absolutely is.
I was
I'm
told
sorry.
that Bible was put together.
And it was.
Where so the Bible we have, I was also told that, let's say it's missing some things that was supposed to be in there, but it been taken away, and the Bible says don't add nor take away from the scripture. We have King James Bibles, but I stumbled across someone telling me, well, you need a King James Bible with the Apocrypha. And so I went to go look into it, and then I was talking to some people, and then they started to argue with me, talking about, well, everything that God wanted me to know was right here in this book. And I know they was referring to just a regular King James without the Apocrypha. And then they went on to saying, well, all that taken away and that don't matter. And I'm like, well, well, the scriptures say you shouldn't take away because your portion will be taken away, and if you add to it, these plagues and curses will be added unto it. So it's like, yeah, I didn't want to argue with this person because, you know, the scriptures say do not argue with no one, dust the dust off your heels and keep moving. But it's like when you talk about the slave Bible, that's the Bible that's giving people not all the information.
Exactly. Exactly. And that was the point that I was making, saying that that was deliberate. It was deliberate. It was put together. It was an abbreviation. It was filtered of the Bible, specifically made for teaching pro-slavery. That was the purpose of its creation. So I was saying that even with that effort, we're still here. We are still here. You know,
Right.
so I was saying for that, I am eternally grateful. So the fact that we are still here and we get another second, another minute, another hour, another moment, you know, even with these things that have been put in place to tear us down and to take us away from here, I'm grateful. That was the statement that I was making.
I'm with you on that. Like, so they didn't make it like forceful where so you have to wear a mask or you will be like dealt with if you don't wear a mask. And I gotta thank the good Lord Almighty that it's not like that yet. But from how it's looking like that's what it's heading to.
It does. I keep saying with these, there's a different strain or strand. You know, every few weeks we get another strand that we're being told about, and now they're saying that hospitalizations are increasing. And I'm curious to know. You know what? I think I need to do some more research into this about the masks and to find out just how much protection these masks are offering us. And I'm just curious to know. Are you wearing a mask? Do you wear a mask regularly now?
Not at this time. I'm actually covered in the blood of the sacrificial lamb. And, you know, I'm banking on that more than I'm banking on the mask because, you know, I heard some people was wearing the mask and it didn't work out for them so well. So I'm like, and I guess it was a certain type of mask they was wearing that wasn't suitable or in a protective way.
But you know, when you think about it too, I mean, listen, I know for myself, sometimes I have to take it off to get some air because it just makes me so hot. So, and in addition, when I do wear it, in those instances, I'll take it off to eat or to drink something, you know. So, it's just, you know, it's just, I don't know. Cortez. I don't know. I don't know. But I do thank you for calling. I thank you so much for contributing to the conversation. Family, you too can contribute to the conversation. You can do that by commenting on our socials, or you can always call us. You know you can. And you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065. Or you can also call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. I just want to say hello to Michael Upshaw. Hey there, Mike. He's joining us and he shares, "Good evening, Carol. God bless you." Thank you. I received that. God bless you as well, Michael. And Timothy is joining us. Hey, Tim. Tim is joining us tonight as well. Melissa shares that she keeps her mask on. If she leaves, you don't leave home without it. Okay. Listen, Melissa. She said if she leaves home without it, she runs back in to get it. But I can't. You know what? I bought those. I don't even know what they're called, but I bought these little things to put it around my neck so that it clips right onto it. It's like an eyeglass string, if you will, but it resembles it. It really does resemble it. But that's how I make sure I have my masks. So I keep them everywhere. When I tell you I have tons of masks, I buy them. I buy the bags, and I make sure I keep some in my car, in my handbag, you know, my backpacks, everywhere. I have masks. But I have been experiencing people. It seems like there is a greater number of people than not that have this persistent or existing cough. And I myself have had a little tickle every now and again. but people are not covering their mouths. And family, listen. I'm going to tell you that if we are sharing space and you happen to do it, I'm going to ask you politely, but I'm going to ask you to keep that to yourself. I sure am. Okay. Yes, I am. If you cough around me and you do not cover your mouth. Now, weren't we taught that when we were toddlers? When you cough to cover your mouth. But now, especially since we have this heightened sense of everything that's going on out here, all of these germs that are in the air, I find myself having a little bit of anxiety when someone coughs around me. And it could be whatever, but cover it up, please. Please cover it up. Cover it up. So I was sharing stories with you from headlines that I've read. And we've talked about 3 thus far, but I want to go into some more. There is a story that really broke my heart about a 2-year-old who was allegedly murdered. A 2-year-old girl was killed in February. She had been beaten to death, but her death did not make headlines in Philadelphia. It happened while she was in a placement through the Pennsylvania Department of Human Services. I'm not sure if you're familiar with this story. 2 weeks ago, police made an arrest in the case. However, the child's biological mother questions why it took nearly 6 months when she says it seemed clear to her who was responsible. I have to be honest with you, I was reading about this story and it is so bizarre to me, but it is so heart-wrenching that this baby endured what she did. And y'all know I love the babies. I love us, but the babies have such a special place in my spirit and in my heart. And this baby's story, this 2-year-old baby girl, beautiful baby girl. It's really a bizarre story, but the details of it are unfolding and are still coming. But I'm curious to know if you read it, if you're familiar with that story. This one, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's High Court will consider a reparations case from 1921 Tulsa race massacre survivors. The Oklahoma Supreme Court will consider a reparations case from survivors of the 1921 Tulsa race massacre after a lower court judge dismissed it last month, giving hope to advocates for racial justice that government may make amends in one of the worst single acts of violence against Black people in United States history. This story made me feel good because I was disheartened when it was dismissed. When the judge dismissed it last month. So it made me feel good to know that it was not completely thrown out and thrown away, and that there is still a possibility. There is still a possibility for these few survivors of the 1921 Tulsa race massacre. Let me know what you're thinking and how you're feeling about what I'm sharing. I'm curious to know. I am curious, very curious to know. Are you familiar with this next story? Google. Y'all, this whole AI world. Google is reportedly building AI that offers life advice. Are you kidding me? Google's AI unit DeepMind has become the nimble, fast-paced standard bearer for the company's AI efforts. Now, we talked briefly about AI not long ago, and I told you all how invasive I believe it to be, and I had started reading about AI years ago, and they've made so many strides since I started looking into it. And like I said, this was years ago, but Google is developing this unit using generative AI to develop at least 21 different tools for life advice, planning, and tutoring. They're creating this tool to offer relationship advice, things of that nature. I don't understand it, or to help users answer intimate questions. What? Why would we need that? Now this is my own personal opinion, but I'll offer that. I throw that in every now and again, but I'm curious to know what you think and how you feel about these things. Are you okay with AI? Are you well, to this degree? Let's put it that way. To this degree, are you okay with this? Because this seems, it feels invasive to me. It feels so invasive to me. It feels just completely wrong to me. Put clearly and bluntly. It just feels so wrong to me, and it feels just everything about it feels wrong. It reads that one of Google's AI units is using generative AI to develop at least 21 different tools for life advice, planning, and tutoring, as well as what is this? To offer life advice, to help us with answer intimate questions. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Look, so family, listen, I'm inviting you to join the conversation as I always do. You know I am. So you can do so by commenting on our socials, or you can call us, and you can do that by dialing 215-634-8065, or you can call us toll free at 1-866-361-0900. But whatever you do, stay with us because we're going to take a short break, but we will be right back.
Join WURD Radio for our annual Founders Day celebration. Mark your calendars for August 18th from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. at WURD's Future Home, 3601 Haverford Avenue. Embrace the spirit of Founders Day with a tribute to the legacy of Walter P. Lomax Jr., MD, complete with food, live music, local vendors, health screenings, and much more. And here's a special invitation. If you're not yet a member, this is the perfect opportunity to join the 4WURD movement and support Black Talk Media exclusively on Founders Day. Secure your membership at the exceptional rate of $80. Visit wordradio.com or join us at our Founders Day event to be a part of the 4WURD community. Let's celebrate together.
To the big-hearted, the bold, the teachers, the growers, the builders, the change makers, we need you. We are the Peace Corps. In more than 60 countries, we go the distance to make a difference. We're volunteers, partners, communities, bringing our experience, joy, and passion to building a better world together. Are you looking for more? Then we are looking for you. Join us at peacecorps.gov.
Let's face it, life looks a little different. During these times, we're doing our best to keep our minds and bodies strong. And getting a flu shot helps us stay healthy, so we don't miss out on what matters. Like having game night at home. Yeah, can't do that while sick with the flu. Now imagine family movie night that your daughter can't live without. Well, that's ruined. And don't forget your uncle's socially distanced cookout. See, that's why it's important to be at our strongest. Every year, millions of people in the U.S. get the flu. Especially now, no one has time to miss out on moments that matter. So get your flu shot. Find out more at getmyflushot.org. Brought to you by the AMA, CDC, and the Ad Council.
What is love?
You're listening to Love and Life on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media.
I think I know what love is.
Well, hello there, family. Welcome back. You are tuned in to Love and Life with yours truly, Carol Riddick, right here on WURD, Progressive Black Talk Media, on air and online. So, family, I'm sharing some headlines, sharing some stories with you all, and I am curious to know what you think and how you feel. There's so much going on about that. We are all in agreement. We are all in agreement. But tell me what you're thinking and how you're feeling. I want to take a moment to go to our socials. Melissa agrees with me, coughing and not covering their mouths and more. Melissa, family, I have to tell you. So Melissa is responding to the comment I made about individuals who are out here coughing coughing and just sharing, just being super spreaders or whatever it is. And I have to admit, it does bother me. It does. It does. We're living in this COVID compromised existence. And there's so much in the air. There's so much in the air. So I was sharing that if I'm in your company and you cough and you don't cover your mouth, I'm going to ask you politely, but I am definitely going to ask you to keep that to yourself. I sure am. Yes, I am. And so Melissa was saying that she wears her mask all the time. She shared that she keeps it on, and if she leaves home without it, she runs back in to get it. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. And so Terry was sharing that we're bombarded at a high speed. We are, Terry, with everything, with so much, so much. Um, I was sharing with you all, well, so many things, but just before the break, one of the stories I shared was about AI. And Google is developing an AI unit that they're calling Deep Mind. And they're developing this really fast, family, really quickly. But I was sharing that it's using generative AI to develop at least 21 different tools for life advice, planning, and tutoring, and to have the ability to answer intimate questions. I don't understand why. I don't understand why, why, family, why. But I'm curious to know what you think and how you feel about AI. Does it bother you? Does it not bother you? Do you care one way or the other? How do you feel about it? How do you feel about it? Another one of our family members is sharing about the Tulsa, Oklahoma story that I shared, the 1921 Tulsa Race Massacre survivor story that I shared. If the Tulsa survivors win their legal case, it's sad to say that they will only receive pennies compared to the generational wealth that was lost. You are so right. You are so right. You are so right about that. With that, I am in full and complete agreement. I can say that the satisfaction that I will or would receive if they win the legal battle is that it will go down in history, that that our youth will know more about the story. There's so many of our younger generation that is completely unfamiliar with the Tulsa Race Massacre from 1921. So many, but I'm hopeful that if when I want to claim that they will win it, and I know that it won't be much. I know I'm in agreement with you, but I will be grateful that it will go in the history books as a win for them, for Oklahoma, and for the legacy and memory of those whom it affected. I know that's small. That's so small in comparison. It is so small, but I'll be grateful for that. I really will. I will be grateful for that. Because that's something that won't be taken away if they win it. And I'm praying that they do. I'm praying that they do. So family. Whew, so much, so much. I know we didn't talk about Hawaii, the fires, the wildfires that are burning, that burned. I need to check on that, but I know I've been checking up about the devastation of the wildfires. And it reads that Hawaii Electric was slapped with 3 lawsuits after the wildfires. Hawaii's primary energy provider is facing at least 3 lawsuits. So there are some of the victims are saying that the wildfires, were ignited by strong winds knocking down Hawaiian Electric's energized power lines. Family, what I want to do is take a moment to go back to our phone lines as I'm looking at the time. I'm going to talk with one of our family members who is waiting to join the conversation. Hello, are you still there by any chance?
Hello.
Hello. Thank you for calling. How are you?
Thank you. Carol, I was listening to you talking about just now when you were talking about Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Yes.
And if you've ever had a chance to see the rare video footage of that town and how the people conducted themselves, how they dressed, thriving town. And really, in my mind, there's no amount of money they could give those people to pay for that, but they should get much more than what they're offering to give them that tragedy based on a lie that a woman told.
And I don't think there's a number great enough, Gary. I don't. This is Gary,
No,
right?
there is no number. It's infinity.
No, there is no number great enough. There
No,
is
there's
no
no
number
number.
great enough.
No.
I was saying, I really, and I know the like the smallest amount of gratitude that I could have for it would be if they win. And I'm praying that they do, because it will go down in history, and that at least our youth will be educated, and maybe they might look at the story itself, and they might want to learn more about our history. But you're right. You're absolutely right. I don't think
But you
there's
know what, Carol?
anything
Bigger than that. Let's look at what they did to us as a people from slavery.
What they're
We
doing.
should have been compensated a long time ago. They can't pay enough money for what they did to us. And then the thing that really gets me is how we contributed so much to this society as far as technology and all that. And then we're learning this later on that, we invented this. We created that. We did this medical advancement. And we have never, ever been compensated. And I don't understand how people that look like us that are in leadership aren't fighting to make sure we get some, at least try to get some equity. But there is no amount they can give us.
No, there really
There's
isn't.
another group I don't want to name. We give money to people in the Middle East. We give people, all these different people that we fund for things that we supposedly did. This country, I should say, not we. And we get nothing. We get nothing. The Ukraine situation that really just boggles my mind. You're relocating these people into nice communities, nice places, and look what our history and what they did to us. I don't understand how. I'm still angry. I'm gonna be honest with you. I can't understand.
And rightfully so.
And what I'm gonna say, this is how they get us, Carol. Entertainment. Now, when you look at football, basketball, and all that, and even football, it's even more. When you look at a stadium, go back to the Roman Colosseum. That's how they kept the people at bay, giving them entertainment while the Roman government did whatever they wanted to do. This is the same thing that's happening now. And I know there may be some Eagles fans out there and whatever fans you are. I don't really care, because look at the condition. Look at Philadelphia. Look at the condition of our city, our schools. When is somebody going to really open their eyes? No, I'm going to say not somebody. When will the leadership and the majority really open their eyes and say, hey, we got to do something. We got to change this situation.
Well, you know what, Gary? I think it's going to take us. I think it's going to take us coming together. I think it's beyond that, beyond the elected leaders, because there's strength in numbers, and I think it's going to take for us to come together. Oh, go right ahead. I'm sorry. Did I interject?
I didn't mean to cut you off. But Carol, this is such a passionate point with me, because what you said is it is going to take us. And when you say us, it's like we can't get our people together. I don't understand why enough of us don't see and definitely feel what's going on and what's happening to us. And I'm going to say now, you know what? It's called distraction. Sport, music, entertainment. Nothing against the entertainment, all that, but seriously. Now, back in the day when you had like Public Enemy and all that, they talked about that stuff. You see
they did.
You see what happened with them, right?
They did talk about it.
They had them, right? And
But
now
it's anybody that talked about it. Anybody that talked about it, quite honestly, anybody that did, not just Public Enemy, and not as it pertained to entertainment. Anybody that did, their voice was, extinguished. And so, but we allowed that. We allowed that,
and we still do.
Exactly, and that's the point I was about to make. We continue to do so, and so that's where I'm challenged, because I'm constantly prayerful, but I'm also hopeful that I don't know what it's going to take, but I'm so prayerful that enough of us, that there is a large enough number of us whose voice is heard, that that we're able to come together and make change. Because as you already know, Gary, when there are enough people that are like-minded and come together and have the same point, change is made.
And
Change is
Carol,
made. Change
and
is made.
you know what? Dr. Lomax, I love that man. He had a vision,
Mm-hmm.
and he,
Mm-hmm.
radio station and all the work and the things that he did in Philly, that people don't even know about. And I'm going to say his name again, Mr. Roscoe Draper. He's the one that connected me with WURD many years ago through family friends. And I heard his story from being a Tuskegee Airman and what he had to go through. He didn't necessarily fly the missions, but he was a trainer. But he told me, he said $30-some almost kept him from getting down there to start the program. And the gentleman called him and said, "Get down here. Where are you?" He said, "Well, I don't have the was it $35, whatever it was." He said, "The money." He said, "Get on down here." And that man, he got me connected to WURD. And when I would start calling in, he would call me after I call in, and he would critique me and tell me that was something good you said, young man. Thanks for bringing that up. And I just owe him such a great amount of gratitude. I think he's like 104 now, 103.
Oh my God. God bless him.
But
Gary, I'm looking at the time. I've got to stop. I'm looking at the time because
okay.
we're going to get cut off. No. I'm sorry because I always enjoy our conversation and I so appreciate you calling in. Family, OMG. You see that? I get carried away because I love spending time with you and I love talking with you. But as we decompress, family, praising God for all blessings. You hear me? As we wrap up tonight's episode, in doing so, I extend to you, each and every one of you, my utmost gratitude as you continue to support Love and Life. This is our tribe. This is our family. This is our family. You hear me? To all of our callers and to those who contributed on our socials. Excuse me. Thank you as well to all of our guests for sharing time, space, energy, spirit, attention, and knowledge. Miss Jasmine Brown, you beautiful soul, you. To the entire WURD family, especially Niall, Jax, and Nick Steptoe. Family, I'm going to say it, we're all in this together. So be good to you, but be good to those around you. Have a great night, family. I love you, but God loves you so much more. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? Be sure to join me Monday through Thursday, 7 till 9 p.m. Eastern Time for another edition of Love and Life right here on WURD. Good night.